2026 will not reward the fastest. It will reward the calm. While most people chase money harder than ever, work longer, scroll faster, and react louder, the Stoics are doing the opposite. They are slowing down and quietly winning. Marcus Aurelius ruled an empire during war, plague, and collapse, yet he wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." In 2026, this single sentence separates the wealthy from the anxious. Because wealth today is no longer about working harder. It's about emotional control, clarity under pressure, and discipline when others panic. Markets will shake, careers will reset, status will vanish overnight. Those without inner order will collapse even with money. Those with stoic discipline will compound quietly. So the real question isn't how much money you make in 2026, it's whether your mind can survive it. This is the Stoic path to wealth and success. Part 1. The Trap of 2026. Why Noise Makes You Poor. If 2025 taught us anything, it's this: the world doesn't reward the loud, it rewards the steady. Say it with me: steady. In 2026, wealth will not belong to the smartest person in the room, it will belong to the calmest one. Because when markets swing, when headlines scream, when your phone vibrates with fear, your money decisions will come from clarity or from survival mode. Take a slow breath with me. Inhale, exhale, calm first. This is the Stoic path. Marcus Aurelius ruled an empire during plague, betrayal, and war. Yet in his private journal he wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this, and you will find strength. That sentence is not philosophy for libraries. It is a financial instruction for 2026. Because noise is the tax you pay when you don't control your mind, and taxes make you poor. Let's talk about the trap. The trap of 2026 has 3 doors. Door 1 is noise. Infinite opinions, infinite opportunities, infinite urgency. Door 2 is comparison. Someone else is winning faster, so you rush. Door 3 is emotional spending and emotional investing, comfort purchases, revenge trades, impulse moves. Here's the uncomfortable truth: most people don't lose money because they're unintelligent. They lose because they're emotionally hijacked. Behavioral finance proves this again and again. Studies show that the average retail investor underperforms the market by 2 to 4% per year due to poor timing and emotional decisions. 2 to 4% compounded over 20 years can be the difference between security and stress. Say it with me: emotion is expensive. Stoicism begins where reaction ends. Epictetus said, "It's not things that disturb us, but our judgments about things." In money, this is literal. The market does not hurt you. Your reaction to volatility does. In 2026, your first investment is not a stock, not crypto, not real estate. Your first investment is self-control. Pause with me for a moment. Breathe. Say it quietly: control the controllable. Here is a story. Imagine 2 investors in a sudden downturn. The first checks prices every 5 minutes, doom scrolls headlines, texts friends, and sells to stop the pain. The second checks once a day, sticks to a plan, and does nothing. 12 months later, history shows the second investor almost always wins. After the 2008 crisis, markets recovered within a few years. After the 2020 crash, the S&P 500 rebounded to new highs in less than 18 months. The lesson is not timing genius. The lesson is emotional discipline. Calm protects capital. Reset with me. Inhale. Exhale. Say it with me: calm protects capital. Now, the most dangerous lie of 2026 is speed. Speed is sold as intelligence. Speed is sold as opportunity. But speed under emotional load becomes aggression against yourself. Marcus Aurelius warned, "Hurry creates error." A Stoic does not rush to fill silence, and a Stoic does not rush to fill uncertainty with action. If you feel urgency, wait 24 hours. This single rule has saved more money than any secret strategy. Let's ground this with a practical exercise you can do tonight. Write down your last 3 money decisions. Next to each one, write the emotion you felt at the time: fear, excitement, envy, relief. Then ask one question: did that emotion help or hurt the outcome? This exercise trains awareness, and awareness is the gateway to wealth. Another reset: breathe in, breathe out. Say it with me: awareness before action. Seneca wrote, "He who suffers before it is necessary suffers more than is necessary. In finance, premature suffering is panic selling, impulsive buying, and abandoning systems that work because they feel boring. Boring is not bad. Boring is how compounding survives. The market rewards patience, not adrenaline. Here is the Stoic reframe for 2026. You do not need more information. You need fewer reactions. You do not need a new dream. You need a repeatable system. And systems only work when the operator is calm. Before we move to part 2, I want you to commit to one action. For the next 7 days, you will reduce your financial inputs. No price checking more than once per day. No reacting to headlines. No decisions made while emotionally elevated. This is not avoidance. This is discipline. Say it with me one last time for this part: calm, clarity, control. In part 2, we will build a Stoic wealth framework, the 4 pillars that create money in chaos: calm, clarity, discipline, and compounding, with exact rules, numbers, and daily practices. If you want wealth that survives 2026, you don't skip the foundation. Stay with me. Part 2, the Stoic wealth framework. Calm, clarity, discipline, compounding. Now that you understand the trap of 2026, it's time to build the structure that survives it. Say it with me: structure beats chaos. Stoic wealth is not luck, it is architecture. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "What stands in the way becomes the way." In finance, volatility is not the enemy. Disorder is. And the Stoic response to disorder is a framework. This framework has 4 pillars: calm, clarity, discipline, compounding. Miss one and the structure collapses. Master all 4 and wealth becomes inevitable, not dramatic. Let's begin with the first pillar: calm. Calm is not relaxation. Calm is command. When your nervous system is unstable, every decision becomes expensive. Neuroscience shows that under stress, the brain shifts from the prefrontal cortex, where reasoning lives, to the amygdala, where survival reactions dominate. That shift reduces decision quality by up to 40%. Pause with me. Inhale. Exhale. Say it with me: calm is command. Marcus Aurelius faced war on multiple borders, yet he warned himself, do not be overheard complaining, even to yourself. Why? Because inner noise leads to outer error. In 2026, calm protects capital in 3 specific ways. First, it prevents panic selling. Second, it prevents impulsive buying. Third, it preserves patience, which allows compounding to work. Practical rule: no financial decision above 1% of your net worth is made on the same day the idea appears. Write that down. 1%. One day. Calm creates distance, and distance creates accuracy. Reset with me. Breathe in. Breathe out. Calm first. The second pillar is clarity. Clarity is ruthless simplicity. Most people say they want wealth, but they cannot define it. Stoics define before they pursue. Seneca warned, if one does not know to which port one is sailing, no wind is favorable. In 2026, lack of clarity is financial self-sabotage. Clarity has 3 numbers: your monthly survival number, your freedom number, and your risk limit. The survival number is what it costs you to live without stress. Rent, food, utilities, basics. Studies show that once basic security is covered, stress drops dramatically and decision quality improves. The freedom number is what allows choice. Not luxury, choice. The risk limit is what you can lose without panic. Most people never define this, so they gamble with their peace. Exercise. Pause the audio if needed. Write these 3 numbers down: survival, freedom, risk. Say it with me. Defined numbers create calm. Reset. Inhale. Exhale. The third pillar is discipline. Discipline is where most people fail, not because it's hard, but because it's boring. Motivation is emotional sugar. Discipline is nutrition. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You don't have to turn this into something. It doesn't have to upset you." Discipline removes drama from money. Here is the Stoic discipline system for 2026. Automate before you negotiate with yourself. Automate saving. Automate investing. Automate debt reduction. Data shows that automated investors outperform manual investors by an average of 3% per year due to consistency alone. 3% compounded over 20 years doubles outcomes. Discipline is invisible leverage. Next, discipline your inputs. You cannot watch financial news all day and remain rational. Stoics practice selective ignorance. One scheduled review per week. That's it. No constant checking. Checking feels responsible, but it is emotional grazing. Grazing kills discipline. Practical drill. For the next 30 days, you will review finances once per week, same day, same time. Put it on your calendar. Treat it like a meeting with your future self. Say it with me. Discipline beats mood. Reset. Breathe in. Breathe out. The fourth pillar is compounding. This is where stoicism becomes quietly dangerous. Compounding is not exciting, but it is unstoppable. Albert Einstein allegedly called compound interest the eighth wonder of the world. Whether he said it or not, the math agrees. $10,000 compounded at 7% becomes nearly $40,000 in 20 years. At 10%, it becomes over $67,000. The difference is not intelligence, it's patience. Stoics understand time. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Time is a river made up of the events which happen. Compounding is what happens when you stop fighting the river and start flowing with it." Wealth compounds in 5 domains: money, skills, reputation, health, and relationships. Ignore anyone and the others weaken. Let's ground this. Skill compounding. If you improve 1% per week in a valuable skill, you are over 60% better in 1 year. Reputation compounding. One honest decision repeated builds trust, which multiplies opportunity. Health compounding. Energy increases earning capacity. This is why Stoic wealth is holistic. Reset with me. Inhale. Exhale. Say it with me. Small actions repeated win. Now let's weave the pillars together. Calm allows clarity. Clarity guides discipline. Discipline feeds compounding. This is not theory. This is architecture. In 2026, people chasing shortcuts will burn out. People building systems will quietly pass them. A story. 2 professionals start the year. One chases trends, switches strategies, and reacts to every headline. The other chooses one skill, one investment plan, one routine. At the end of the year, the first feels exhausted and confused. The second feels boring and wealthy. Marcus Aurelius warned the tranquility that comes when you stop caring what they say, or think, or do. Tranquility is a financial advantage. Your assignment before part 3 is simple but demanding. Choose one system you will not change for 90 days, one saving rate, one investing rule, one skill to develop. No optimization, no tinkering, just execution. Write it down, commit to it, reset, breathe. In part 3, we will move from framework to action. You'll learn Marcus Aurelius' 2026 playbook, how Stoics control what they can: train discomfort on purpose, detach from applause, and build wealth without noise. Stay with me. The path is getting sharper. Part 3, Marcus Aurelius' 2026 playbook, control discomfort, detachment. Now we move from structure to strategy. Say it with me. Strategy without calm is noise. Marcus Aurelius didn't rule by guessing. He ruled by principles, practiced daily. And in 2026, principles will outperform predictions. This is the Stoic playbook for wealth and success in uncertain times. 3 rules. Simple, demanding, transformational. Rule 1, control the controllable. Rule 2, train discomfort on purpose. Rule 3, detach from applause. Pause with me. Inhale, exhale, let's begin. Rule 1, control the controllable. Most people waste energy fighting what they cannot change. Markets, politics, other people's decisions. Marcus Aurelius warned, do not waste the remainder of your life in thoughts about others. In finance, this is deadly advice ignored. You cannot control market cycles, interest rates, or sudden shocks. But you can control 4 things: spending, skill acquisition, routines, and patience. Stoics build wealth from controllables. When others panic about what they cannot change, Stoics double down on what they can. Here is a practical framework. Divide your financial life into 2 columns. Column 1, controllable. Column 2, uncontrollable. If it's uncontrollable, it does not get emotional energy. If it's controllable, it gets discipline action. This alone reduces stress and increases decision quality. Reset with me. Breathe in, breathe out, Say it with me, focus creates power. A real example. During economic downturns, individuals who increased skill investment rather than obsessing over markets saw income recovery faster. Data from multiple labor studies shows that people who invested in skill upgrades during recessions recovered income up to 30% faster than those who waited. Stoicism aligns with data. Control the controllable. Rule 2, train discomfort on purpose. This is where most people quit. Comfort feels like safety, but comfort without discipline becomes a cage. Seneca wrote, set aside a certain number of days during which you shall be content with the scantiest and cheapest fare. Why? To prove to yourself that fear is lying. In 2026, voluntary discomfort is a financial weapon. It builds psychological immunity. If you can tolerate discomfort, you don't need to sell your future for short-term relief. Here are Stoic discomfort practices you can apply immediately. 1 no-spend day per week. 1 hour per day of focused skill work without entertainment. 1 uncomfortable conversation you stop avoiding each week. These are not punishments. They are training. Just as muscles grow under resistance, wealth grows under restraint. Reset with me. Inhale. Exhale. Say it with me, discomfort builds freedom. Here's a story. 2 people earn the same income. One increases lifestyle with every raise. The other increases savings and skills. 5 years later, one feels trapped, the other feels free. Same income. Different discipline. Marcus Aurelius wrote, you could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think. When you remember time is finite, waste becomes unbearable. Rule 3. Detach from applause. This rule protects you from the most expensive addiction of all, validation. The fastest way to lose wealth is trying to look wealthy. Stoics understand that attention is not value. Epictetus said, if you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid. That sentence alone can save you years of financial damage. In 2026, social comparison will intensify. Algorithms reward display, not substance. But Marcus Aurelius warned, it never ceases to amaze me. We all love ourselves more than other people, but care more about their opinion than our own. Detachment from applause is liberation. Practical application. For the next 60 days, make one rule. No financial decisions designed to impress. No purchases for status. No announcements of plans. Quiet execution only. Measure progress privately. This restores sovereignty over your choices. Reset. Breathe in. Breathe out. Say it with me. Silence protects progress. Now connect the playbook. Control what you can. Train discomfort. Detach from applause. Together, these rules create an unshakable financial identity. Identity matters more than tactics. Tactics change. Identity compounds. Let me leave you with a Marcus moment. Alone at night after ruling an empire, Marcus wrote reminders to himself. Not about power, not about wealth, about discipline, patience, and virtue. He knew something we forget. Success without self-mastery collapses. Wealth without character leaks. Your assignment before part 4 is clear. Write down 1 controllable you will master this month, 1 discomfort you will practice weekly, 1 source of applause you will ignore. Commit to these for 30 days. No optimization, just execution. Reset with me one final time. Inhale, exhale. In part 4, we will close the Stoic path. Legacy, long-term thinking, how to build wealth that outlives noise trends and fear. This is not about 2026 alone. It's about the rest of your life. Stay with me. Part 4. The Stoic closing, legacy, long-term thinking, freedom. We end where Stoicism always ends, not with certainty, but with clarity. Say it with me, clarity over control. Marcus Aurelius never chased guarantees. He chased alignment. Alignment between thought, action, and time. That is why his words survived 2,000 years while the noise of his era vanished. Wealth in the Stoic sense is not excess. It is freedom from fear, freedom from urgency, freedom from dependence on applause, trends, or approval. In 2026, this distinction matters more than ever, because the world will promise you speed, shortcuts, and certainty. And Stoicism will offer you something quieter, but far more powerful: durability. Pause with me, inhale, exhale, Feel the pace slow. This is not wasted time. This is reclaimed control. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Think of yourself as dead. You have lived your life. Now take what's left and live it properly." This is not morbid, it is clarifying. When you remember that time is finite, you stop trading your future for comfort. You stop spending to impress people who are not coming with you. You stop chasing outcomes and start building character. And character over time becomes capital. Let's talk about legacy. Legacy is not what people say about you when you're gone. Legacy is what continues to work when you're not present. A system that runs without your emotions. Skills that produce without your constant effort. Investments that compound without your attention. Habits that protect you when motivation disappears. This is Stoic wealth. Reset with me. Breathe in, breathe out, say it with me, build what lasts. In modern terms, long-term thinking is a competitive advantage. Data shows that investors who hold quality assets for 10 years or more dramatically outperform frequent traders. Businesses that prioritize durability over hype survive downturns at a higher rate. Individuals who think in decades make calmer decisions in days. Stoicism trains this exact muscle. Seneca warned, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste much of it." Financial waste is rarely about numbers. It is about impatience. Stoic wealth removes impatience from the equation. Now imagine two futures. In the first you react, you chase, you adjust constantly. Your life feels busy but shallow. In the second you commit, you repeat, you refine slowly. Your life feels quiet but strong. One looks impressive, the other becomes unbreakable. Marcus Aurelius would choose the second every time. Reset, inhale, exhale, say it with me, quiet strength. Here is your final Stoic exercise for 2026. It is simple, it is demanding, and it changes everything. Write a 10-year letter to yourself, not about goals, about principles. How will you handle money under stress? How will you treat comfort? How will you respond to comparison? How will you measure success when no one is watching? This letter becomes your compass. When noise rises, you return to it. Another reset. Breathe. The Stoic path to wealth is not linear. It will test you. There will be years when patience feels foolish. Years when restraint feels invisible. Years when others appear to pass you. Marcus Aurelius prepared for this. He wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. Every delay trains patience. Every challenge sharpens judgment. Every quiet year compounds unseen." This is why Stoicism works in 2026. Not because it predicts the future, but because it prepares the mind. And a prepared mind creates its own advantage. Now let me ask you the most important question of this entire series. Not about money, about identity. Who are you becoming through your financial choices? A reactor or a builder? A consumer or a steward? A chaser or a practitioner of calm? Reset one last time. Inhale. Exhale. Here is the truth. Wealth without self-mastery collapses. Success without discipline decays. But a calm mind, clear values, and consistent action create freedom that no market can take from you. Marcus Aurelius didn't leave us a fortune. He left us a method. And methods, when practiced daily, outlast money. Now tell me, as you step into 2026, which Stoic principle will you commit to living by? Calm, clarity, discipline, or compounding? Comment one word: clarity. Not for others, for yourself. Commitment changes behavior. And if you're building a stronger mind, a longer view, and a life that survives chaos, subscribe to Making Life Better. Not for motivation, but for mastery. The Stoic path does not end here. It begins with what you practice next. This is not motivation. This is preparation. If you're tired of reacting, tired of noise, and tired of chasing success that never feels secure, this path is for you. Stoicism doesn't promise easy money. It builds unshakable minds, and unshakable minds create wealth that lasts. Calm decisions, long-term thinking, discipline when no one is watching. Marcus Aurelius didn't teach how to get rich fast. He taught how not to self-destruct. And in 2026, that may be the greatest advantage of all. If you're building a stronger mind for the years ahead, A life that survives chaos and success that doesn't collapse under pressure? Subscribe to Stoic Wealth, not for motivation, but for mastery.